Picture this. You wake up one morning, check your analytics, and your conversion rate has crushed. Not a small dip. We're talking about like 45% drop in just 2 weeks. Same as ad spend, same traffic, but suddenly your revenue is bleeding out. This actually happened to the supplement store owner last month. They were about to fire their agency and rebuild their entire site from scratch. We found the problem in under an hour. I'm Ivan Pika, and this is Conversion and Analytics Solved podcast. So, where we turn conversion mysteries into solved problems. So, welcome to the first episode of the Conversion Analytics Solved. I'm Ivan, and I have spent the past 10 years diagnosing the conversions drops for over 140-ish clients. Businesses managing like millions in a day traffic. Some drops are 10% and some are way more catastrophic, like 80% and even more. Here is what I have learned. Most conversion problems aren't mysterious. They are not some black magic algorithm change. They're usually something simple. The difference between finding it in an hour versus spending weeks guessing, it's just to hammer framework. In this first episode, I'm not going to start with the theory or basics or anything else. I'm starting with a question I get asked most. My conversion just dropped. What the hell do I do? Let's dive in. Right. First thing first, before you panic and start changing everything on your website or on your traffic site, let me ask something. This actually the problem, or it's just the noise? Here's what I mean. If you normally get 10 conversions per day, and today you got 5, that might be just normal statistics fluctuation. Small volumes swing like a crazy. It's like flipping a coin 10 times and get 7 heads. Doesn't mean that the coin is broken. Wait for a few days, look at the average, see if there is an actual problem or a pattern. But, and this is a big but, if you normally get 1,000 conversions per day and suddenly you are down to 500, that's not a noise. This is not a seasonality also usually. That's the real problem and you need to act immediately. Got it? Okay, so we have determined you have a real drop. Now what? I'm going to level with you. This is going to sound obvious, but I need you to do this first. Make sure your tracking isn't broken. In about 1 out of every 5 conversion drop panics I have seen, literally 20%. The business was actually fine. Conversions were happening, customers were buying, the tracking just broke. So it looks like everything was on the fire when really it was just your analytics having a bad day. Save yourself hours on investigation. Check your tracking first. Go through the test purchase yourself. Check if the conversion fires in your analytics. Look at your real-time reports. Compare your analytics revenue to your actual payment processor, Stripe or any other. Do the numbers match? If they don't match, congrats, you just saved yourself from solving the wrong problem. Fix your tracking and move on. But if your tracking is fine and conversion really are down, now we'll get to the good stuff. Here is a start that's going to change how you think about this. 50% cases, literally half of the time, the problem isn't on the site at all. It's your ad campaign. Think about it. Your conversion rate is conversion divided by visitors, right? If your visitors change, your conversion rate changes, even if your site is exactly the same. So you need to ask yourself, is my traffic volume actually stable? Does the audience stable? Or did something change? Maybe your budget ran out early. I have seen that happens more times than I can count. Maybe your beats changed. Maybe campaign paused. Maybe your competitors outbid you. Maybe Facebook decided to show your ads to a completely different audience overnight because their algorithms felt like, this is it. Here's what you need to check. First, is your traffic volume stable or did it drop? Second, and this is really important because, for example, you have a really high convertible share of the traffic in the Google CPC and like actually drops. At the same time, the volume of the organic traffic increases. So we are getting more of the low conversion traffic and less of the high conversion traffic. In this case, like there is no mystery at all. Second, did your traffic sources change? Maybe you were getting like just the situation I have described. So you need to make sure that your traffic mix is stable. So did any campaign pause or change targeting or anything else? If you see the traffic drop, congratulations, you just figure out the problem is in conversion optimization position. It's not easy, but you need to understand like how it works. You are solving the wrong problem. Go fix your campaigns, not the landing page in this case. Still with me? Okay, traffic is stable, tracking is fine, but the conversion rates are down. Now it gets interesting. So, okay, this is where we enter the who shot themselves in the foot phase of the investigation. So this is the small investigation actually. In 80% cases where it's not a traffic and it's not a tracking, here's what happened. Someone on your team deployed an update yesterday and broke something. I know what you're thinking, but Ivan, we test everything. Sure you do. But here's the thing. You test on your device, your browser, your network. You don't test every possible combination of device, browser, operating system, and dummy action of customers. Maybe even do not take into account the network condition. So let me tell you about the SaaS client I worked with the last quarter. Everything was fine on Monday morning, Tuesday morning. Their mobile checkout conversion rate had literally dropped in the hole from 8% down to about 5%. Desktop, totally fine, working perfectly. So we started digging, and turned out their developer had added a new JavaScript library in the night before to improve the page speed. Sounds good, right? Except it broke the payment button, but only on the iOS Safari. Android worked perfectly, but the problem with this customer that iOS was the majority. Just one specific combination, iPhone users on Safari, and they couldn't complete the checkout. So that happens. If they haven't segmented data by device and browser, they could spend days chasing the host. So here is what you do. Ask your dev team what changes in the last 48 or to 27 hours, which pages got updated. Then go into your analytics and look at those specific pages and steps. Look at the transition between the steps. Did something break? Like compare them before and after. And here is a beautiful part. If you find it, fix is simple. Just roll it back. Revert to the last stable version. You can always redeploy the updates later after you figure out what went wrong. The simplest fix is often the right. All right. So let's say you have checked everything so far. Tracking is fine. Traffic is stable. Nothing was deployed recently. Or you rolled back and the problem is still there. Now we need to put out our detective hats. This is where the most people just start guessing and making random changes. Don't do that. Stay systematic. I'm going to walk you through 6 questions you might want to pause and grab a pen for this part, or just look at the transcript, because these are the exact questions that will lead you to your answer. First one, when exactly did the conversion drop? Not just last week or recently, I mean the precise moment, the exact date, and ideally the time. Was it instant? Like you can see the exact how it happened. That's usually the point to a deployment or a campaign change or any other change. Or was it gradual over days or week? That's usually points to external factors. Maybe your competitors changed their pricing. Maybe there is a seasonality and didn't account like seasonality you didn't account for. Maybe you have accumulated technical debt that's finally catching up to you. The pattern of the drop tells you a lot about the code. Is the drop, the second one, is the drop uniform across all the traffic sources? Go into your analytics and segment by source. Look at the organic traffic separately from the paid. Look at the direct traffic, social, emails, referrals, all the others. If only one source dropped and the other are fine, guess what? The problem isn't the channel. Most probably not on your side. I worked with the e-commerce customer whose overall conversion rate dropped 30%. Panic mode, right? But when we segment by source, we found out that the Google organic was totally fine, Facebook was fine. The only thing that dropped was the Google Ads traffic. Turns out that Google had started showing their ads on a bunch of low quality partner sites that were sending basically garbage traffic. That was not intentional. It's because of the Google Ads manager have enabled the search partners and like some other. We have discovered and then we have fixed that. The same to the landing page. Like, is the conversion rate stable across all the landing pages? Or we are talking about single one. This is that can be the mix of the landing page plus traffic. Maybe something changed in these two variables. Let's say like that. The third question, what else changed beside the conversion rate? This is really important. Look at the metrics around conversion. I'm talking about time on the site, page per sessions, bounce rate, cart abandon rate, form starts versus completions. Anything can tell you the reason. These correlated metrics will tell you where in a funnel to focus. For example, if bounce rates keep people out landing on your site and immediately leaving, that's the first impression problem. Probably your messaging or page speed are not doing. If bounce rate are fine, time on the site dropped, people are engaging less. Maybe your content changed or something is broken that makes them give up. If cart abandonment went up, but everything else is normal, your problem is especially the checkout. Not clear enough. See how it works? The pattern tells you where to look. So we need to allocate the problem. Okay, question number 4. Is the drop uniform by time and day? Stay with me here, because this is where the most people mess up. They look overall numbers and miss this pattern. Like, maybe the problem only happens during the business hours, but not evenings. That could mean it's a B2B traffic behaving differently. Or it could mean your servers can't handle the peak. Maybe it only happens on the weekends. That could be a different audience with a different intent. Maybe it only happens during your peak traffic times, and that point to server performance issue or third-party service that is like timing out under lot or something like that. Okay, again, the different patterns require different solutions. Then break down. Again, this is the 5th step, and it's really important. Break down the funnel step by step. This is crucial. You need to know exactly where in the journey people are dropping off. Let's say you are in e-commerce. This is the easiest case. So your funnel looks like home to product page to cart, cart to checkout, checkout to payment, payment to confirmation. Go in your analytics and look at each period, like the previous period and the current one. Maybe 8% of people who hit your product page used to add to cart, and now it's only 60. This is just an imaginary numbers for sure. Okay, what changed on the product page? So we need to allocate the place of change and then address it, like what's wrong with it, and then segment everything. So you have the funnel, and you need to slice and dice your data in every possible way. So you can use the funnel report and then desktop versus mobile versus table, Chrome, Safari, any other browser, operating system, iOS, Android, anything like that, geography, user type, landing pages. So you will segment this funnel like from one step to another with each possible dimension and compare for sure, like compare all these segments before and after the drop happened. This is how you find like the problem, and that's actually how we have found the problem with an iOS Safari. Okay, so remember that supplement store from the beginning. Let me tell you how we found their problem. We went through the exits. Tracking was fine, traffic was stable, nothing had been deployed recently, or like at least it seems like. But we have started segmenting. Here is what we have found. Mobile conversion dropped by 60%. Desktop fine. It's only affected from paid ads, not organic. Bounce rate on the product page has skipped. Page load time has increased from 2 seconds to almost 7 seconds, but only on the mobile. So, turns out their marketing team has installed a new image optimization plugin 2 weeks earlier to improve performance. Sounds good, right? except the plugin was configured and was actually loading massive uncompressed image, but only on the mobile devices and only for the paid traffic because of how the landing pages were set up, how for the paid traffic, the images were different. And like, this is a simple fix. Disable the plugin, conversion came back within an hours, and 45% revenue drops all in under an hour because we have a framework instead of just guessing. The other really good example of that, customer of mine has created the script to autoplay videos on the product page. And accidentally, this script triggers because of the ad parameters, UTMs from the ad. And then the performance of the traffic from the Google Ads has dropped significantly. But all the other traffic sources were performing similar to the past period. Then we check the campaigns. No changes in the campaign efficiency, like CTR. All the stuff were the same. So we decided to look on the cross of landing CPC traffic on the landing page. And we have discovered that their first session, again, as the same as the previous example, it was a way longer. So the time on the page was a way longer. What the heck? What's going on? And then it turns out that the autoplay video takes a lot of time to download and a lot of page increases. So, and the problem when you are testing it manually from your desktop, mobile, or anything, you can't spot it because it's actually works only when you have a special G-clip parameter in the landing page. That was the mystery about that. Nothing changed, but accidentally the paid traffic drops. Again, we have solved it not in an hour. It takes a little bit longer, but having the framework always helps. Okay, look, I know it seems like this is a lot of work, but the truth, the case, staying calm and just being systematic. Most conversion drops aren't mysterious. They have obvious cases. You just need a framework to find them quickly. Let me tell you what not to do, okay? Don't panic and make random changes. This is the last thing you want to do. Don't skip tracking first. It's your wasted time. Don't change multiple things at once because then you can't tell what actually fixed it. Don't assume it must be something complex. Usually in 95% cases, it's something really simple. Instead, do this. Follow the checklist methodically. Document everything you check so you don't go circles. Change one variable at a time. Start with the most obvious cases and work your way to the complex stuff. In most cases, the code is right on the surface, either in your traffic, recent changes, or in one specific segment of users. Actually, again, sorry for telling you this word like over and over again. Check hypothesis from most obvious to most complex, and you will find the answer. Okay, this is it for the first episode of Conversion and Analytics Solved. I'm Ivan Pika, founder of Zero Analytica. If this helps you, save this episode because the next time your conversion drop, you will know exactly what to do. Now, speaking of tracking, remember how I said 20% conversion drop panics are actually just a broken trap? Here's the thing. That number is way higher than it should be. And it's because most businesses don't have a proper tracking plan. In the next episode, we are going to talk about the tracking plans, one of the most underestimated assets in your entire analytics stack. Most people think tracking is just happens automatically. It doesn't. And that's why when something breaks, you don't even know you are missing. I'll show you how to build a tracking plan that catches problems before they cost you money and how to make sure you are measuring what actually matters. Okay, I'm Ivan Pika. See you in the next one.